OCS at Soweto Police Post contacted Peter Mugure, the last person to see Siombua, Shanice, and Prince Michael, to inquire about their whereabouts. Peter told the deputy OCS that at around 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, 26th October 2019, he had escorted Siombua, Shanice, and Prince Michael to the Nanyuki main stage and left them there waiting for a matatu to head back to Nairobi. This, according to him, was the last time he saw them. Suspiciously, after this call, Peter Mugure went to the Nanyuki police station with a friend, a fellow military man, to report Siombua and the two children as missing. On that same day, 28th October 2019, the officer at Nanyuki police station investigating the disappearance of Siombua, Shanice, and Prince Michael received a call from Siombua's best friend, Farizana. She said she had been referred to him by the deputy OCS at Soweto Police Post in Kayole, and explained that she had received a call from a 4NTE Matatu Sacco employee at the Nanyuki main bus stage who informed her that they had found a technophone in one of their matatus. The employee further noted they had retrieved Farizana's phone number from the phone since it was the last number called and had contacted her in an attempt to identify the owner. Farizana was able to confirm that the phone did indeed belong to her friend Siombua. Following this new lead, the investigating officer and his team went to the Nanyuki main stage, where the 4NTE Sacco offices were located, to retrieve Siombua's phone. As anticipated, they also interrogated the driver of the car in which Siombua's phone had been found. His statement revealed inconsistencies in Major Peter Mugure's account, which claimed that Siombua and the children had left Nanyuki on the night of Saturday, 26th October 2019. According to the 4NTE Matatu driver, on that night, when Siombua and the children were said to have boarded a matatu at around 6:30 p.m., he was actually in Bomet for a private event. He did not return to Nanyuki until around 11 p.m. and left the car for the night at the main stage. He resumed work the following day, Sunday, 27th October 2019, at 4 a.m. and drove to Nyahururu and only got back to Nanyuki at 3 p.m. It was then that he discovered Siombua's phone on the passenger seat and handed it over to his supervisor at the 4NTE Sacco office. Let's take a moment to acknowledge that the driver's actions not only helped solve Siombua and her children's murder case, but also saved him from potentially going to jail. We've seen several cases in Kenya where innocent individuals were wrongfully accused of aiding and abetting murder simply because they bought or found and kept a murder victim's phone. The key takeaway here is, if you find a phone that you believe the owner might have lost, please hand it over with haste to the police or relevant authorities. Additionally, avoid buying a second-hand phone without proof of purchase from the owner, as it might be the one thing that costs you your freedom. Now back to the case. Regrettably, the investigating officer could not determine who left the phone in the matatu because the Sacco did not have a log of passengers who boarded the car that day. One theory is that Peter Mugure, being a highly trained army man, might have sneaked into the Nanyuki main stage and left Siombua's phone in the car, or possibly paid someone else to do so, with the intention of throwing the police off his trail. After retrieving Siombua's phone, which had been suspiciously left in the matatu, the investigating officer began to suspect that something sinister might have happened to her and the kids. And on Tuesday, 29th October 2019, he interrogated Siombua's family and friends in detail in an effort to unravel the mystery of Siombua and her children's disappearance. It was during this interrogation that the officer learned of the strained relationship between Peter and Siombua, which led him to also question Major Peter Mugure about the event, and since the plant closed at 6 p.m., he declined Peter's request. Joyce Yombua and her two children, Shanice Maua and Prince Michael, were laid to rest in Kitui on Saturday, 7th December 2019. The emotional farewell honored Yombua as a devout Christian and a prayer warrior, while her children were remembered as jovial and friendly. There was also a call for the alleged perpetrators to be held accountable. 2 years later, on Thursday, 13th May 2021, Collins Pamba, who assisted Peter Mugure in disposing of the remains of Yombua, Shanice, and Prince Michael, was sentenced to 5 years in jail. In handing down the sentence, Justice Florence Mushemi noted that Pamba, being only 21 years old and a junior to Major Peter Mugure, had been overwhelmed by the situation, especially since he had been threatened. The sentence also took into account that Pamba had provided crucial information against the main suspect, Peter Mugure, and had struck a plea bargain with the prosecution, agreeing to testify against Peter in court. Conversely, despite the overwhelming evidence against Major Peter Mwaura Mugure, nearly 5 years after the tragic deaths of Yombua and her children, the legal proceedings against him have been fraught with numerous twists and turns. Some argue that Peter has been actively trying to delay the wheels of justice. The case is still ongoing, and here are the key highlights. The shenanigans began when Peter's plea, originally scheduled for 5th December 2019, was postponed to 10th January 2020. This delay was due to Peter's pending mental assessment report that required completion before the case could proceed. The psychiatrist at Nyeri Referral Hospital needed to interview Peter's next of kin before finalizing the report. However, Peter's mother declined to make the journey from Kayole in Nairobi to Nyeri for the interview, citing that the journey was too long. Adding to the complexity, just days before the court hearing, Peter Mugure allegedly sent his sister Nancy to Kerugoya prison on 6th January 2020 to request Collins Pamba to retract his confession that he had helped Peter dispose of the bodies of Yombua, Shanice, and Prince Michael. Peter remained undeterred in delaying the court proceedings as much as possible, as later in the year, on 15th December 2020, Peter filed a petition to represent himself in court. He expressed dissatisfaction with his previous 3 lawyers, accusing them of underrepresenting and misrepresenting him. This request was denied on 10th June 2021 by Justice Florence Mushemi, who instructed Peter to secure a lawyer. 2 months later, in August 2021, Peter sued the Kenya Defence Forces, KDF, for wrongful termination. He alleged that he had been dismissed following a disciplinary hearing on 18th November 2019 for disobeying the KDF Act by allowing unauthorized guests at the airbase. Peter contended he had not been given adequate notice to prepare for the hearing. And in August of 2023, the Nyeri Employment and Labor Relations Court awarded Peter 2 million Kenyan shillings for unfair dismissal. Peter's latest attempt to delay the case occurred in June of 2024, with 23 witnesses having testified and only 2 remaining. Peter, through his lawyers, filed a civil suit against the Attorney General, the DCI, and other security agencies. He alleged that his constitutional rights were violated and argued he should have been tried in a court-martial since he was in the army. This matter remains pending in court, and we shall be sure to keep you updated on its progress. We sincerely hope that one day the family and friends of Yombua, Shanice, and Prince Michael will find justice. We also pray that the souls of Yombua, Shanice Maua, and Prince Michael will